too exotic. That's the word they like to use.
Yeah.
I'm too exotic, or because I wear my hair blown out sometimes, that I don't look Latina enough. And when I moved to LA, people were like, "Oh, you're Latina? I thought you were Armenian." And I was like, "No, I'm sorry. Is there a mold that you're telling?" There's so many different, from white, blonde, blue eyes to black.
Yeah, Latino is like every color. It's the United Nation itself.
Have you ever felt like you really didn't fit into the Latino mold? Well, you're not alone. A lot of first-generation Latinos have felt stranded between two cultures. They don't know if they are Latino enough or American enough. Ladies, do you feel familiar to that?
Oh, definitely. Todo el tiempo.
I know I do. I'm either told, for me personally, I have been told that I'm either too, I'm not American enough, I'm too exotic. That's the word they like to use.
Yeah.
I'm too exotic, or because I wear my hair blown out sometimes, that I don't look Latina enough. And when I moved to LA, people were like, "Oh, you're Latina? I thought you were Armenian." And I was like, "No, I'm sorry. Is there a mold that you're telling?" There's so many different, from white, blonde, blue eyes to black.
Yeah, Latino is like every color. It's the United Nation itself, because we have Asians too. We have like the whole thing. But is that because of the ignorance from here, or where do you feel like you're not?
I think I mean, I haven't gone to the UK to really know. But I know that I dealt that when I moved here, because in Venezuela, it was so unknown for me when I was little.
Yeah.
How about you guys? Have you ever dealt with it?
Definitely.
Oh my God.
All the time. All the time. I mean, in cualquier país that I go visit, whether it's Europe, even Mexico. In Mexico, I'm too American. I'm too exotic. Or I'm too Hollywood. Esa es otra cosa.
Oh.
I'm too Hollywood en comparación to a lot of mi gente in Mexico. But even when I go to Arizona, my familia that's in Arizona, when I go to Nogales, same thing. I'm too Hollywood. I'm too LA. And it's really funny, because I feel that here, no one ever guesses that I'm Latina. They right away will look at me, and they'll even question. I get gentlemen. The only people that hit on me are Egyptian. And that's in Persian, and they'll talk to me in Farsi or in Arabic, and I'm like, "I'm so sorry, no, I appreciate it, pero esa es una de las cosas." I feel that that's what makes us exotic, and it's about embracing each and every single one of us. There's no molde that it's like, this is what you need to look like. This is the poster child of what Latinos look like, or Latinas look like. Different shapes, different sizes, different colors.
I know you have a very interesting background, so how have you dealt with it?
That's been all my life, because again, I've been born and raised in Sweden. I consider myself as Swedish, but also Latina, so I would say Euro-Latina, probably, from Europe. But to fit me in molds has been all my life since I was a kid, and I had to learn really quickly to defend myself, and I had to first decide for myself, who am I?
Right.
Who do I want to be? And I decided I am from the world. So for me, you can put me wherever you want, but don't get disappointed if I'm not reaching to what you're expecting.
Yeah.
I'm Latina, I'm European, I am Arabic if you want to, I'm African, I will be Asian if you want to. I know who I am, and that's most important for me. Then whoever looks at me, or whoever else wants me to be something, that's on them.
And I think that's also in our industry. In our industry, it's what they perceive as el papel of, this is who you need to play. That's one thing, because they have someone in mind. And I know we've discussed this, Yanina, where they want us to speak with a certain accent, right? They have something else in mind of what they consider Latina for el papel. And so that's one thing where we've learned to kind of just be like, pues soy quien soy. Like, you gotta just own it.
And you put yourself outside of whatever that role is.
Exactly.
I think it also depends where you are in the US, just speaking for the US. Like, if you're in Miami, they accept a certain type of Latinos. If you are in LA, they expect Latinos to, because there's so many Mexicans here, for me, they constantly told me I needed to neutralize my Venezuelan accent when I came here. And I was like, So you're saying Venezuelan is not Latino? Okay.
But then also the word Latino becomes so restricted because, like we talked before, we're so multicultural.
Yeah,
Yes.
like you said, there's so many different things in Latino countries, in Colombia, in Venezuela, in Cuba, in Puerto Rico, in Mexico. There's in Mexico and in Venezuela and everywhere there's Aztecs, there's Indians. So that all goes into us and we look different. But what do you think is like a stereotype that people think Latinos are?
Do you want me to go based off of like when they find out I'm Mexican? It's chola immediately. It's like, do you have family that's, you know, chola or narco or like anything? And that's another thing. I feel that immediately when they see someone of a certain, like, oh, you're educated, you're either Americanized, or if you're of a certain status, oh, pues they must have familia that's involved in this, that, or the other.
Yeah.
And I feel that that's something that happens a lot in our stereotype as far as Mexicano-Americanos, like that happens a lot.
I think the Latino culture in general, because Colombians too, they're like, oh, so your parents or your family members must sell coke. Are you related to Pablo Escobar?
Oh my God.
I'm like, when I hear my friends that are Colombian get asked that by others, it's just so ignorant.
Yes.
For me, it's always that submissive, seductive, sexual person because Cuba and a lot of Caribbean countries have that standard that you're gonna be like easy and, you know, easy to just be with, or like show more of your. That's what I hear a lot, especially in the modeling industry, was like, you're not Cuban enough, like you're not
Like,
like
you're supposed to
sensual
exude
or like
sexuality.
sexual enough to be Cuban.
Well, those